Hey everybody, it's Clutch from the Sodak Motorcycle Blog. Welcome to Talking Shhh with Clutch.
Hi, I'm Clutch from the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, coming to you live from the North Pole.
Well, hello and welcome back. Once again, I'm Clutch with Sodak Motorcycle Blog. You're tuned in to, actually, it's the first episode of Talking Shhh with Clutch. However, it's really an extension of the 605 Motor Vlog. Or live stream, but we just came up with a different name. I don't know, maybe generate some more interest. I don't know, whatever. But anyways, welcome to the show. I've said this once before. I'm Clutch from Sodak Motorcycle Blog. You're probably sick of hearing that, but real quick. If you haven't subscribed to the Sodak Motorcycle Blog yet, I would encourage you to do so. Go ahead and hit that like or hit that subscribe button so you'll be able to follow us, know when a new video comes out. If you really want to know when a new video comes out, click the little bell notification icon. Be notified when you get either we go live or we put in a video on there or something like that. Go ahead and do that if you would. Share it with your friends if you think it's good enough that maybe your friends like check it out. Please stand by or please stick around. Stay around, maybe, enjoy it a little bit more. But anyways, so today, 30th of March, 2023, and so spring update. It was not too bad today. It got up to 50 degrees today. However, tomorrow we're supposed to get 48 inches. It sounds like next week's going to be quite a crazy snowstorm next week is what it's looking like. So spring's going to have to wait a little bit more. I could sit here and complain and cry to you about how it sucks. It's not spring and I can't ride, but you know what? It is what it is. Weather's going to do what weather's going to do. But also big day today, obviously. So you had the first day, opening day of baseball MLB season. So I've got my Minnesota Twins hat on just to celebrate it, which, by the way, they did win today. So they're going to go at least 1-161. So actually, they're probably going to have a really good season, and then October's going to come, and they're going to get swept in the first round of the playoffs, and great, is what it is, the fun of being a Minnesota Twins fan. But anyway, so tonight's topic, we had talked about it before, and basically we're talking about, controversial motorcycle topics, motorcycle takes. Just to research this, I went through and took a look at some Reddit posts and just some things I've heard over the years, just things that people said that some might say are controversial. I'm just kind of going to give you some of my take on them. So I guess let's get this started. Anyways, let's take a look here. So what's our first one going to be? Most riders don't know what they're doing when it comes to machine control. I can absolutely agree with this. I absolutely agree that this is very legit. And one of the reasons I do agree with it is just the amount of failed to negotiate curve crashes you see where the rider could have done something to get around it. They just didn't get around the curve right. They failed to lean the bike over. They failed to control it right. They got in a target fixation situation where they looked at a target and they just went to it, because that's what happens is if you look for the old adage, you look down or you go down. Well, if you're going around the curve and you look at that telephone pole in the ditch and you keep looking at that telephone pole and, you're going to hit it eventually. So I definitely think this is a very legit thing with machine control. Also, the amount of people that can't do a slow speed maneuver in a parking lot. And I'll be honest with you, I'm very much in this camp too. I do think I'm still, I got a long ways to go when it comes to machine control. Because you look at what can be done on these heavy motorcycles and what people can do with them. And most of that is practice and getting better at it. So just like Fast City says, show up and practice, right? So that's the first one. All right, let's look at number 2 here. Ooh, Indian looks better than Harley looks. I actually agree with this one. I like the looks of the Indian motorcycles just a little bit better than the Harley. I just do. I don't know, something about the looks of them that just they're, to me, the Indians are just different enough, but they got some of that classic styling where I think is, I think it's a pretty cool little vibe. Now, this new campaign they got going out for their new Dyna lookalike, I think I kind of agree. It's kind of pretty cringy. It's like every stereotypical thing that you can do with a motorcycle commercial. Like they just went to someone and that knows nothing about motorcycles, said, "Here, make an ad," and that's kind of my thoughts on that. But as far as overall looks, if I look at Indian and Harley side by side, I definitely like the looks of the Indian better. Now, this is very much I've noticed over the years, I think with Indians, you either love the look of them or you don't. It doesn't seem like there's really a middle ground, and I'm very much in the yes, I like the look of the new Indians. Excuse me. All right, loud pipe save lives. I don't think they do. Honestly, I think people are so tuned out now that they're not going to notice you regardless of what you do. You could have, think of the last time you were in traffic and you had, like, let's say a fire truck go by you or a police car go by you with their lights and siren going, and how many people just have no clue that pickup or that vehicle's even there. And, last I checked, lights and sirens are pretty bright and the sirens on emergency vehicles are pretty loud. So I honestly don't know if loud pipe's really going to save your life. I really don't think it will. I think they're kind of a waste of money. I feel like the only people that really notice loud pipes is maybe other motorcycle riders, but even then, I don't know about that. And honestly, they can kind of annoy people. Now you can say, "Yeah, I do what I want, whatever, F you." Well, okay, well, you say that, and then you complain about people not seeing motorcyclists or having an attitude about motorcyclists. Well, that probably doesn't help you. Okay. Most wrecks can be prevented by the motorcycle rider. I absolutely believe this. We did rider briefs on Ellsworth for the club last week, and we had 14 or 15 crashes where there was 14 of them. We highlighted 14 of them because there was a fatality in 14 of them. And of that 14, I want to say 9 of them were a single motorcycle accident. And in my mind, if it's a single motorcycle, well, guess what? It's on you. Like, it's on you. Like, you screwed up. Like, it's not on anybody else. I mean, you can sit there and blame gravel and curve, whatever, but here's the deal. You should know better and know what you're doing and have your machine under control. So if you see that, then maybe you can react to it. And the biggest reason I believe in this is, if you haven't checked it out, I got a video. It's called I can't remember if it's called The Accident or The Wreck. It's one of the first videos that it's way back there. I actually should reproduce it because it was a pretty good video, I thought. But I essentially talked about my one and only accident. Cliff Notes version is I was in a parking lot. I was waiting for a car to get by me. They were slow as hell. I got impatient and they got by me and I gunned it to get in the spot I was waiting for them to go on. Well, right as I come around the corner, I heard the clunk of the gearbox and the reverse lights were on. And this wasn't a nice and gentle backup. This is a full bore, like, nope, I'm going to gun it. I don't think there was any ill will there. I really don't. But here's the thing. Bottom line is, had I waited just a second or two, guess what? It wouldn't have happened. Like, yeah, they hit me, but in the end, that was totally preventable. Like, I look at that accident, I think that was, or that wreck, and that was totally on me. Like, that was on me. Had I just even had just a little bit more patience, I don't think I would have had the issue. Although, things happen for a reason, I kind of believe. And, it taught me a good lesson. I think I've been better since that incident. So yeah, absolutely. Like, I truly believe this. Another thing here is, never mind. We're going to cover it later. So what do we have? Had to layer down means is, okay, I didn't proofread this very well. Basically, had to layer down is code for I screwed up. And I absolutely think that, like, had to layer down, crashing to avoid a crash feels kind of stupid to me. Like I feel like that's, I don't know, I feel like you're misguided. But I've heard this a lot of times. I've heard people talk about, yeah, well, if you get in a tight spot, lay it down. It's like that, that's just dumb. Like, I'm gonna take my chances on my bike. And granted, it's pretty easy for me to say because, well, I've got a about 900-pound motorcycle. But in the end, I'm gonna take my chances on my motorcycle. I'm gonna try to use some of the skills, some of the strategies that I have worked on. I think I'm gonna stick with that. Honestly, if you're going around telling your friends had to lay her down, just fess up. You screwed up, okay? Like, screw up. You screwed up, okay? Like maybe I could say that on my wreck. Like, oh, I had to lay her down so that van would hit me. Still, they hit me anyway. And frankly, they didn't hit me. They hit the bike. And I think I was better off, just trying to, I was in a situation I couldn't get out of. And honestly, I had to lay her down. Like I said, it's just stupid. Oh, here's one for all your friends that are, or all the people that tell you they are like, anti-riding. Motorcycles are death machines. I'm just going to say this about that kind of statement. They're not. Because here's the deal. In the end, who makes that motorcycle a death machine? I don't think the motorcycle makes it a death machine. I think that's kind of that adage, is it the gun's fault to kill people? No, we're not talking about guns here, but like, same deal. Like, motorcycles, are they really the death machine, or is it the person that's riding it who doesn't know how to ride, who's riding like an idiot, that makes it a death machine? I think the latter. So motorcycles are not death machines. Bad riders make them death machines. Putting car tires on a motorcycle is a great idea. I am on the side of no on this, and this is probably going to trigger a bunch of you, but I'm just sorry. I'm not into it. Okay. I'm not into it. In my mind, and here's my hang up with the car tires. And I use a person I used to ride with as an example. This is one of those guys, he put like, I can't remember, it was Royal Purple, some kind of oil. It's like, $15 quart oil in his bike. And he changes it every 2,000 miles. But he won't put the OE tire on his bike because, he wants to save a little bit of money because, I get more mileage out of it. Okay. I feel like your logic is flawed. But that's my thoughts on that. Honestly, I don't think motorcycle tires are that expensive. I really don't. And I feel like maybe the other argument I hear on the car tires on the motorcycle is, oh, they won't blow out, or they don't blow out, they don't go down. I'll be honest with you, I have yet to have cats. But I'll be honest with you, I have yet to have a moment where my motorcycle tire just magically went down on me or magically blew up on me. And you know why? It's because I take care of it. In my mind, if you're having issues with tire blowouts and tires going down on you, I think maybe you need to take a little bit better care of that tire. Like, just my thoughts. And maybe that's why you're putting car tires on it, because you can abuse car tires a little more. I mean, motorcycle tires are finicky. You gotta, they lose air all the time, just naturally. And when it's just one little puff, they'll give you a pound of PSI. On a motorcycle tire, well, you're going to have that. So, take a little bit more time, take a little bit better care of what you're doing. I do not recommend putting a motorcycle tire or a car tire on a motorcycle. I just don't want to do it. I don't recommend it. I just don't. Sorry. You can quit my blog now if you're that offended by it, which I'm going to say this. I forgot to say at the start. Here's the deal. These are my opinions. Everyone's entitled to opinion. I'm telling you mine right now. You may disagree. You may agree with it. You can leave comments, whatever. That's fine. But in the end, here's the deal. Let's be human beings about this. Let's not be jerks about it. Let's be like, yeah, okay, I disagree with you. Whatever. Cool. Carry on. But anyways, here's another controversial one. Speaking of controversy, all states need full helmet laws. I actually agree with this one. I very much agree with this one. And the main reason I agree with it is, in the end, every state, you pretty much have a seatbelt law now, right? And they're going to tell you got to wear a seatbelt in your vehicle. Okay, cool. That, in my mind, all right, well, if you're going to make everybody wear a seatbelt, then I think you can make all the motorcycle riders wear their helmet. And I'm a very strong proponent of helmets, and I'm just one of them. So I guess I'm obviously not an abate guy. And I'm sorry, abate, but here's the deal. Your thing is, you can say you're all about education all day. No, in my mind, you're just the anti-helmet people, and that's all you are. And that's all you're ever going to be in my mind, because you're always the first one barking about the helmets. But I think every state, full helmet law. And in the end, if it comes down to a deal where they're like, well, we're either going to start regulating motorcycles or you got to put on helmets, you know what? Let's put the helmets on. Honestly, you look at it anymore, I would be willing to bet a good half, because I do live in I live in a non-helmet state. Sturgis, of course, that's one of the big reasons why it stays on the books, is we don't have it. And I'd say now we're probably about half now at the rally wear them. And that's gone up from when I first started going to rallies quite a bit on the motorcycle, like 04, 05 timeframe. Like, it was rare. It was very rare to see a helmet during the rally or anywhere on the road. I'd say normally during the year around here, we're probably at 60, 70% now. So, all right, I got to take care of this. All right. Sorry about that. Live show, and I have cats, so that makes it fun. Okay, so we've talked enough about that, I think. Oh, here's another one. Trikes, scooters, slingshots are not real motorcycles. You can pretty much just call this blah, 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 not real motorcycles. Okay. And yeah, technically a trike, okay. A motorcycle is short for motorized bicycle, okay. Here's the thing. Motorized tricycle doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. Like, in my mind, just call it a damn motorcycle. Okay, geez, get over it. And in my mind, scooters are, you can get just as dead on a motorcycle. Yeah, okay, you don't look as cool on a scooter, excuse me. You can get just as dead on a scooter. In fact, in Rapid City, this would have been about 4 or 5 years, or no, 2, 3 years ago, high school kid that was riding a scooter around, in typical, garb, well, didn't have any safety gear on, and he got killed on a scooter. So for all those people, that ride around their scooters with their flip-flops on and, no other equipment or gear or anything, maybe tell them to cut that out. Because in the end, they can still get just hurt. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I kind of put it on the, okay, well, how hurt can you get in a little bit? And also on the, did I say, I didn't mean slingshots. Or no. I can't. Excuse me. Okay, I'm going to change this one real quick. What I meant to say is spiders. Once again, live TV, and I didn't proofread. I'm awesome like that. So, all right, there we go. Spiders. Okay, here's the deal. In my mind, a spider is just a trike that's mounted the other way. That's all there is to it. Like, it's a trike where things are mounted the other way. So in my mind, yeah, let's lay off them too. Here's the thing though, slingshots and what's the other one? Vanderalls. Although I do like Vanderalls and I think they're cool. But here's the deal. In the end, though, in my mind, they're not a motorcycle. Okay. I don't care what Polaris, and really let's blame Polaris for this one. I don't care what Polaris's lawyers are calling it to skirt federal automobile safety rules. But I'm sorry, a slingshot and a Vanderhall, they are not motorcycles, okay? They are, I guess you could say, an autocycle. In my mind, they're just a three-wheeled car, okay? They're a three-wheeled car. And that's all there is to it. Like, they're not, like, I'm sorry, like, you shouldn't be parking on Main Street. You shouldn't be getting a bike parking with any of those machines. Just no, sorry. And here's the other thing. Okay, you can run down, especially the trikes or the spiders all day long, but what are you going to do when you're, let's say, 80 years old and you get to a point where you don't balance very well anymore and you get to that point where, well, you can't stay on the motorcycle anymore. Are you going to quit riding because you can't, because your only option is, oh, well, it's a trike or a spider? Because I can tell you this much, I'm going to keep riding as long as I can. And if that means I have to have a spider or I have to trike a Goldwing or whatever, you know what? I'm going to take it. And if you really got to hang up on trikes, well, I got news for you. They're getting more and more prevalent every year. The motorcycling demographics are not getting much younger. So I would say kind of get used to them. And in the end, if you're riding a group, here's the deal. You put them at the back, and that's all there is to it. And they can complain about it all day, but in the end, that's the best way to have your trikes in a group is put them in the back in front of your tail gunners, and there you go. You got them taken care of, okay? And let them do their thing. Because here's the thing. There might come a day where you have to be on one of those, and all those years of you talking your trash and running them down and being, oh, I'll never be on one of those. Well, you might come back eating a little bit of crow on that one. So, maybe let's call it what it is and just be fine with it. Okay. Only real riders ride blank. This is another one of those. It's like, oh my God, like who cares? My question is who died and became the real rider? Professor of this is the great book that says these real riders do this or do that, and real riders don't do this. Who cares? I really don't care. I don't really care who a real rider is. I don't, because there's some riders out there where they'd say, hey, a real rider is a rider that rides all year. Okay, that's all fine and good. But okay, it's a little tough to ride a motorcycle in 3 feet of snow. And I'm sure plenty of you out there have rode motorcycles and worse than that. So you say, okay, I'll take your word for it. But I hate to break it to you, but snow ain't a lot of fun on a motorcycle. I've never rode a motorcycle in the snow, but I can't imagine that it is. And frankly, I don't own a snowmobile either. So I kind of just tend to stay away from the snow with with anything motorized. So like I said, who cares? Are they riding? Good enough. Fine. Even that guy that, that only rides once a year at Sturgis, you know what? I mean, who cares? He's just let him have his fun, and I'll dog on him too. But in the end, we all just need to just let it be. All right. And speaking of that, segues right into, if you don't ride all year, you're not a real biker. And I completely disagree with this. Obviously, I live in a northern climate where we have to deal with a thing called winter. And I understand that in some places, yeah, get heated gear, whatever, cool, awesome. But I don't know. I don't really want to ride on ice either. And a lot of people don't want to do it. And I mean, I get it. It's a motorcycle, but comfort's still a thing. And you're really running into safety if you're not factoring your comfort. And riding when it's cold is, well, probably not fun. Riding in the rain is not fun. There's a lot of things that probably aren't very much fun. So once again, okay. And you can call me, I guess I don't ride all year, so not a real biker. There's not a lot of real bikers in the world then, if that's going to be stipulation. In my mind, you're really talking about, okay, maybe 1% MCs at that point, I mean, I don't know. I'd love to live in a place where I can ride all year, but unfortunately I don't. I live in a place that has a thing called winter. But we do have nice days in winter, but it's not like it's a reliable, you can ride every day in the winter around here. That's just how it is. I mean, for example, we're going to get 48 inches tomorrow. We're going to get another foot or whatever next week. I mean, that's not fun in a car. Now we're going to do it on a motorbike. Doesn't sound fun to me. All right. Oh, what do we got next? There are two kinds of riders, those that have gone down and those that will. So first of all, my question is, what's our stipulation here? Because if we're saying gone down, like dropped in a parking lot, yeah, absolutely. Probably everyone's going to drop a bike eventually. Now, if we're talking about crashing, I think this is and maybe this is true, but I think this is a very bad thing to say. And this is very much said to new riders all the time. And I really think we should stop saying this to new riders. I think we should go with the approach of, hey, let's learn, let's get better, let's try not to go down. Let's make it the goal not to go down. You may go down, but here's the thing. We're not going to, because in my mind, you hear this, well, If you haven't gone down yet, you're going to go down eventually. Well, okay, then why am I going to even bother trying to get better at my riding if I'm going to go down anyway? Like, so the two kinds of riders, the ones that got down, those not well, like I said, that's the complete wrong attitude to have. And I was on Dakota Thunder Ride about 10 years ago, and there was this new rider there, and this one dude was giving her advice. And yeah, it was basically like 20 minutes of let's scare the crap out of the new rider instead of like, hey, here's some advice. When you see this, nope, it's not about if you're going to go down or that you won't go down, you will, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, like I said, I'm sure glad there was no one telling me that when I was a new rider, because I probably would have got the hell scared out of myself. So, and honestly, I learned no, I'm pretty sure my father-in-law probably said the same thing to me. And I don't know. I think I just like, oh, okay, well, whatever. I'll wreck. That's fine. Take my chances. Like, I think you should go in with the approach of you don't want to go down. You may go down, but let's do the skills. Let's do the practice so we don't. Okay. So here's another one on my list. So lane splitting. Oh, this one really can get people a little triggered. Here's the thing with lane splitting. I think it should be legal, completely legal. I think lane splitting should be legal. I definitely think lane filtering should be legal. And there's more and more places that are starting to bring in the lane filtering. So for you who don't know, so lane filtering is when it's a stoplight on a 4-lane road or 2-lane road, and the bikes come up the white line to the stoplight and basically take off, get out of the way of the cars. Lane splitting is when you're doing it on the road at speed. I think it can be done. I think it can be a safe way. Here's what I'm not advocating for is maniac riding his crotch rocket 100 miles an hour down the highway in stop traffic. That is not what I'm advocating for. What I'm advocating for is, let's be adults about it. Like, if traffic's backed up, okay, let's let the motorcyclists go in the white lane. And here's why. Out there, guess what? I don't have to worry about a car running into my rear end. Plus, you're getting me out of the way quicker. Do you want me taking up a spot where a car is? Could be. Or would you rather have me in the white line, get out of the way? And I think a lot of it boils down to the whole it's not fair attitude that we have. This, how come he can do it? It's not fair. That's not fair that he can do it. Why can't I do it? Well, you know what? If you want to do it so bad, guess what? Get a motorcycle. You see this quite a bit where you got traffic jammed up going into one lane. And I'll be honest with you, I'll be the first one to admit, I'm one of them riders. I'm going to go all the way to the end and I'm going to sneak in. And here's why. Because once again, if I'm sitting out there in that traffic line that's 4 miles long, just sitting there in the middle, minding my own business, it's not that hard for someone to come rear end me. So in my mind, I'm doing it for safety. And frankly, I'm a lot safer if I have full control of my machine and not letting me be at the whim of traffic. So I think lane splitting, lane filtering absolutely need to be legal. Like I said, my biggest things is, let's do it within reason. Obviously, maybe stop traffic or 25 miles an hour, 10 miles over, something like that. That's really what I think should be done. I'm not a let's do it all because I think that would be a little crazy. Okay, so we got a few other ones here that I haven't talked about yet. So here's one. All Harley riders or all whatever riders, maybe, or here it is. All Harley riders are a you-know-whats. You know what? I've dealt with plenty of riders that rode plenty of different brands, and I've met a-holes that ride Harleys. I've met them that ride BMWs. I've met plenty of them that ride Goldwings. I've met them that rode Kawasaki's. I've met them that ridden, I'm trying to think what else we got. Yamahas. They ride all kinds of brands. So it's not just, like I said, this whole one brand is, no, that's probably not. You probably had a bad experience with one that's riding a certain bike and it's stuck in your mind. So like I said, that's completely not true. Let's see here. Oh, here's another one, and this one means a lot to me. So practicing in a parking lot won't do you any good on the street. Once again, I completely disagree with that because you're going to need to do some slow speed maneuvers, also emergency stopping. Also, nothing really gets you to understand how well you can control your motorcycle unless you're doing those maneuvers. And frankly, if you do those maneuvers and you practice them over and over again, you go to a parking lot at a big motorcycle event, like let's say Sturgis, you avoid a lot of embarrassment if you can manipulate your motorcycle. We see it all the time. This old place we used to live right behind the Broken Spoke. People would pull in, they'd try to do this U-turn, and it would always fail miserably. Like half of them would go down, the other half would do a really awkward, like Austin Powers, like 3 or 4 point turn. It just, like I said, take your time, work on it. I think some of it is people are scared of, dropping the bike or looking bad. You know what? Get some crash bars and who cares? Okay. So what? You drop your bike. It's a lot better if you're going to drop your bike in a parking lot practicing than dropping it for real out on the road. Like let's try to avoid the had to lay her down, because in my mind, you never have to lay it down. So, all right. Let's see here. Sons of Anarchy ruined motorcycling. Completely disagree with that. It was just a TV show. And yeah, a lot of people are not fond of it. A lot of motorcycle riders are not fond of it. Personally, I enjoyed the show. I like the show. I get it. It's a male soap opera. Fine. I get it. Either way, I was entertained. I mean, I really don't care. Let's be honest. Yellowstone is pretty much the same thing. And I'm a Yellowstone fan. Sorry, Yellowstone fans, but guess what? It's just another soap opera. That's all it is. That's all these drama shows are, just different. So they're just soap operas that have better production. That's all there is. So get over yourself. Like I said, Sons of Anarchy, I don't think ruined anything. Whatever. I think that's just another popular take that people like to say. And that kind of brings me to one more. And this is MC Protocol is BS, and completely disagree with that. It's there. It's part of the deal. Yes, you can do what you want. That's absolutely true. But at the same time, it's one of those, just have some respect and you'll get respect. Like, treat people how you'd like to be treated. Don't be a jerk. Like, it's a good lesson for life. And, MC Protocol, same deal. It's there. It's the way it is. Here's the deal. And if you don't like it, I got a very good tip for you. Just stay away from it. Just go out, go be the lone wolf. Go be a lone wolf and just go ride. And maybe take the stupid lone wolf patches off your vest and just go ride. You don't need to tell everybody about it. Essentially, in my mind, especially the lone wolves that really make the big deal about, they're like that person who you'll see as popular message boards where I just came here to say that I'm never watching blah, 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 this team again. Okay. Bye. Thanks. Like, you didn't need to tell us, but okay. Same deal. So Motorcycle Protocol is not BS. It's kind of a respect deal. And obviously I am an MMC. So, there's some things to follow. And yeah, like I said, you can do whatever you want, but just like anything else, if you're going to walk in and have an attitude with people, expect to get an attitude back. And that's regardless of whether you're at the biker bar or if you're at the mall. Like, it's just all there is. Like, if you have an attitude, you're going to get an attitude back. That's the way the world works. And we got one more here I'm going to do before we go take a look at anything. Electric motorcycles will ruin motorcycling. Well, you know what? I don't think they will. And honestly, I think it's one of those where I think it's just going to become a forced kind of thing. Like, it's just going to happen, and that's just how it's going to be. Granted, I don't think it's going to happen as quick as some of these people want it to, because we just don't have the infrastructure for it. But I think it's, the electric motorcycles, all electric everything, it's coming, whether we like it or not. And we can sit around and complain about it or be like, well, just do our best to embrace it. I will say this, enjoy your combustion engine and enjoy the hell out of it. And honestly, I think I look forward to a day when they've got the things kind of figured out with the charging and how to make them work and how to make them last a long time. Because if you haven't been on an electric motorcycle before, they're pretty cool to ride. They're pretty interesting to ride too. And you'll hear sounds on them that you never heard before than when you got an engine that's running in the background. So, like I said, I don't think they're going to ruin motorcycling at all. I think it's just going to be another way to another added part to motorcycling that are eventually going to carry on and on and on. And yep, the and Harley said, CEO basically said, yeah, eventually we're going to be all electric. Like that's going to be the way it is. It wasn't in 10 years like some like to think. I mean, that's just where it's going. It's going to go that way. So sorry, is what it is. I mean, you can complain about it or you can just try to enjoy it. I'm going to try to enjoy it. So, but anyways, that's all I got for tonight. So once again, this is going to be posted here on my page. So go ahead and take a look at it. And leave a comment, leave comments afterwards. I'm going to be monitoring the comment section like I do every other one. And, I respond to some, others I don't. Generally, I always at least hit the like button if I see it. So, but thanks for stopping by. I'm Clutch from the Sodak Motorcycle Blog, and you have yourselves a good night.